Police got a tip about a dead horse on a farm, but when they arrived, what they found was far worse. The officer had stopped at the farm to investigate reports of a dead animal. It was supposed to be a routine check, but something was off about the place. Then, as they opened the barn door, a horrific sight met them, and they rushed to take action before more lives were lost. Back in 1988, an animal rescue group called the Large Animal Protection Society, or LAPS, was founded with the intention of policing animal cruelty laws. And it continues to do so to this day, with the help of dedicated volunteer staff. Indeed, as its name suggests, LAPS specializes in protecting bigger animals that smaller protection agencies can't. Many of the animals it helps safeguard, for instance, are domestic farmyard animals like horses, pigs, and cows. It's no surprise then that it assisted police at the scene of a small hobby farm. In June of 2017, a member of the public noticed something troubling about one of the farm's fields in Chester, Pennsylvania. It looked like a dead horse. As a result of their concern for the animal, the passerby called for help. When law enforcement attended the scene, though, they found that the animal wasn't dead. In fact, the animal was just asleep in the pasture. Still, something must have made the officers uneasy, as they then called for assistance from animal protection specialists. LAPS was one of the groups which answered the call, and it was accompanied by Helping Hands for Animals. Together with the police officers, representatives from the two organizations started to look around the farm. However, they couldn't have foreseen what they'd uncover. In a press release, Farm Sanctuary, a farm animal rescue and protection organization, described how the farm in Chester had won awards for its animals in the past. The farm owner and his family had taken the cows to fairs, the organization explained. They were paraded in front of judges and received prizes. But appearances can be deceiving, and it seems that the animals were treated somewhat differently after the shows. Indeed, the unnamed farmer had apparently shut his cattle in the barn, where the cows were seemingly forgotten about. At least, that's what it looked like from the condition in which they were found. When investigators arrived at the scene, what they found was not valued, prize-winning cattle, Farm Sanctuary wrote. Instead, they found 8 calves, 6 cows, and 1 bull locked in the barn. But the conditions they were forced to live in were not just horrifying. No, the barn posed a serious threat to the animals. Certainly, it looked like the barn hadn't been cleaned out in some time, and as a result of the farmer's neglect, the building's floor was positively swimming in mud and feces. Unfortunately, some of the calves had already suffered the consequences. 5 calves, each just a few weeks old, appeared to have literally drowned in the muck, Farm Sanctuary explained. Only 3 of the 8 calves, so covered in feces they looked like they had been dipped in it, survive. The poor animals looked traumatized, and they probably were. Susie Costin from Farm Sanctuary told the Dodo how this could have happened. If a calf is sick, they lay down, she explained on June 23, 2017. If they're stepped on or someone accidentally pushes them in, they're too weak to get out, so they actually drown in their own manure, which is repulsive. To add another element of horror to the conditions, one of the calves was found huddled next to its dead companion. Constance said he was probably mourning his friend's passing. Cows are very emotional, she explained. To continued, they're very vocal and upset when someone dies, and they're not frightened about staying with the body in mourning. Authorities could tell then that these animals had been suffering for some time, and they confronted the farmer about it. However, he denied any accusations of neglect or abuse. On the contrary, he said that the animals had only been in the barn for 3 days. Yet despite his protests, there were just 10 surviving cattle from the barn. The farmer willingly surrendered the animals, but even this apparent good news had a bittersweet edge. Shockingly, the farmer was permitted to keep many more animals who were found outside of the barn, Farm Sanctuary reported. But LAPS and Farm Sanctuary couldn't just stand by and let history repeat itself, and they've taken legal action. Charges have been filed against him, the statement read. It continued, these charges include failure to provide veterinary care and failure to provide sanitary conditions to his animals. It remains to be seen if the charges will stick, but at least for now, some of the animals are safe. And it's been good news for the rescued cattle. After some of the animals received medical care, They were all found new homes across 2 sanctuaries. 3 of the animals, 2 calves and 1 adult, now live at New Jersey's Skylands Animal Sanctuary and Rescue, and the remaining 7 were sent to Farm Sanctuary's New York shelter. Furthermore, the females at Farm Sanctuary seem to have adopted the male calf as their own. They're both very maternal, Costin told the dodo. They love being outside. When they start becoming playful, that means they're starting to feel secure. Anytime an animal is seen only for financial gain, their value is determined by that, Costin continued. Now these amazing cows will live a life where they're seen as someone, not something. They'll get the individual love, respect, and care they each deserve. Check out these other videos from Let Me Know. If you haven't made the move to subscribe to our channel, all you need to do is click on that red subscribe button. Thank you for watching.